Hey guys, this is Mike with Resistance Photography. Today I was on Facebook and somebody posted this image and was asking on what they could do to edit it. So I went ahead and asked permission. I went ahead and edited it, and she had asked how I did it and wanted a tutorial on how I accomplished my edit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I did that. First off, I'm going to go ahead and take my white balance and I'm going to bring it up quite a bit. Let's see. We'll do right here is good. It looks a little warm right now, but why I did that in a minute. And then this, I'm only going to drop it down a few, so we'll do -2. And then the exposure, I'm going to bring that up quite a bit. So let's go ahead and we'll go here for now. Yeah, that'll work for me. I'm going to go ahead and give it a little contrast. So let's say around probably 20, be my guess. Yeah, let's do right there. That works for me. And then there's a lot of really bright spots. So we'll bring my highlights down quite a bit. Actually, we'll do right there. I like that. Shadows, I'll go ahead and bring those up. Probably, let's see, right there. That works for me. And then, let's see, my whites, I'll go ahead and I'll just leave those for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring these blacks away. Give it a little more contrast. And I like that. That looks good right there. And while I'm at it, I love my clarity, so a lot of people don't, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add some clarity to this. Not too much, just a little bit to it. And then I always bring my saturation down quite a bit, but I'll probably do about right there. And then my vibrance, I give it quite a bit of vibrance, because being a family photo, you know, you want it to be bright, you want it to be a lot of colors, not overbearing, but enough to show a happy picture. So right there will work for me. I'll go ahead and I'll go to my curves and I bring this up just a little bit. I always do that with every image. It's just what I do. Alright, so we'll start off with the hues. I'm going to go ahead and bring my reds over, kind of make them a little more oranges and red tints on the child and on his face and all different types of places. And then my greens, I want them more of a blue because I have a big sunspot right there. And so I want to try to get rid of that glare, and hoping to help just a little bit. Maybe do the aquas as well. It's still there, but we can get rid of that later. And then I'm going to go to my saturation, bring my reds down just a little bit. See if there will work. And then my greens, I'm going to pull those right there. That'll work too. I'm going to go ahead and go to my luminance. Brighten up those reds just a tad. And my oranges, I'll brighten those up too. And the reason I do my oranges and reds is because those are the skin tones. Most of the orange, but a little bit in the reds. Not too much, but you know, it's good to do a little bit of both, because if you do the oranges and not the reds, you'll get a lot of blotchy looking textures in the skin, and you definitely don't want to do that. And since this image, I mean, if you look at the baby's face, especially since that's the main face you can see, you definitely want to sharpen this up just a little bit. So let's see, I'll probably do right here, we start to get a little grainy, so I'll add a little bit of noise reduction just to get rid of some of that grain. If I feel like there's still too much grain, I can bring down my sharpening just a little bit. So let's see how that looks. Alright, so now that I've done all that, I have a good foundation right now. I can work with this. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop. Now I'm not sure how this works with Photoshop Elements or anything like that, but I would assume it does the same thing. If not, let me know. I'll try to figure out a way to do it strictly in Lightroom, but I'll go ahead and I'll do that. And I actually have this already opened in Photoshop. Let me go to my original image. There we go. So if you look, I mean, it's basically the same exact thing. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer, and I'm going to take this and I'm going to do a layer adjustment, and I'm going to go to the color balance. Now right now my only focus is this big green spot on the shirt. So I'm going to go ahead, pop up those blues, get these blues, and then just kind of mess with these, see where I want it, maybe tone it down just a little bit, and I'll go to my shadows, because a lot of those tones in here are shadows. Pretty much I want that blue to be one solid blue, or as close to it as I can get. I'll go to my highlights, just see if that does anything. Alright, so for me that works. I can work with that. So I want to make sure my brush tool is selected. And actually before I do that, make sure this is on black. We're going to take this, make sure that's highlighted, and we're going to click that. And what that's going to do is that's going to get rid of that, so that I can click this brush, click this back over to the white, and then now that adjustment that I have applied, I can paint right onto here, and it works really awesome. One of my favorite things to do. So I'll go ahead and I'll paint this. And you want to make sure you get most of the shirt, if not all of it, just because you don't want some weird mixing or anything. For the sake of this video, I'll keep it pretty simple. And then now that that is completed, we'll go out. I mean, if you look hard enough, you'll still see a little bit green. That's something you can spend more time on if you want. But for the sake of this video, I'll keep it pretty simple. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to combine these two layers. A lot of people would disagree with that, but that doesn't really bother me too much. So I'm going to go ahead and merge those layers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, I'm going to duplicate it, and then I'm going to go to image, adjustments, shadows, highlights. And I like to mess around with these. It gives it a whole different look for the photo. Mess with the tones a little bit. I like that. And mess with the radius some. Kind of just get the feel of what you want to go for. And then the highlights, I don't really think I want to mess with the highlights. I kind of like where they are. We'll do that. And then the color, you can desaturate it, or you can add more saturation. Right there works for me. Maybe just a tad bit more, but not too much. And then the midtones, I'm happy with this right here. So I'll click OK and let that render out. And so before, after. Not too much of a difference, but enough to bring some of those darks up. And then now that I've done that, there's when we first brought it in. there's now. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, Save, and that's going to bring the Lightroom. So I'm going to go ahead, go to my saturation. I don't really like this blue too bright, so I'm going to go ahead and bring that down just a little bit, maybe some aqua. Make it blend with the rest of the photo a little more. The luminance, I can even add a little bit of that. And then I think the really only thing I want to do after this is put a little bit of vignette on it. And that's kind of it. You can feather, do all kinds of stuff with it. Normally, with most shots, I would enable profile corrections, but since I don't really know what camera was used for this, I can't really do that. I use Canon, so what I would do is I would go to Canon, more than likely give me the lens that was the one I used, and it would be correct. But for this, obviously the 15mm was not the one used, so I'm going to uncheck that, and there we go. And that's it. That's how I achieved the edit that I posted. And I hope you guys enjoy. If you guys have any questions or would like to see tutorials on other things, feel free to let me know. Message me, contact me on Facebook, email me, whatever is easiest for you guys. Alright, you guys have a great day and stay blessed.